God can take any situation you're in and use it for His glory.
Hey, good morning, you guys made it. Well, hey, listen, if you did not catch our last episode, you do not know that we've had a rebrand. This is no longer Breakfast with Bradley, this is Tea Time with Tierney. Listen, I have brought my lovely wife in to share with you some good truth from God's Word, and we know it's breakfast time, so we're going to jump in and we're going to have a good lesson from His will for us. All right, honey, jump right in. What you got for us today?
Well, today we're going to be in Philippians, and we'll start with the first chapter, verses 12 and 13. I want you to know, brothers, that what has happened to me has really served to advance the gospel, so that it has become known throughout the whole imperial guard and to all the rest that my imprisonment is for Christ. So we know the author of Philippians is Paul. So Pastor Brad, can you share with us what happened to get Paul in prison? Why was he with the imperial guard? What was going on with him?
I love it when you give me chances for Bible nerd. Listen, at this time, scholars pretty much are all on the same page here, and I agree 100%. This is more than likely the house arrest. From after Paul has accomplished his testimony, his life has been spared. He's just been through a horrible shipwreck. He gets to Rome, and he is not granted audience with Caesar, but he is placed under house arrest for 2 years. So during this time, different churches can help support him because unlike our system now in prison, he didn't get the opportunity to just have 3 square meals a day and have provision. When you were under house arrest, that was it. And coming out of COVID and understanding a little bit more of house arrest, my heart goes out to Paul in this time. But as he's in prison here, this is what's happening. And there are a lot of rumors being spread about him at this time that, he was a miscreant, that he was a terrible person, that he was just a liar. And so it's interesting that as he's writing this letter, he is very keen to say, no, all this rumor stuff, all this stuff that's going on, it's actually for a purpose, it's for a reason. And so anyway, that's where he's at. That's why this is going on. And it just so happens that this is probably my favorite letter in the entire New Testament. So well done on that one. But anyway, that's where Paul's at.
What I want for us to glean today, knowing all this, knowing what Paul was going through, Paul was able to take such an unfair and frustrating situation as being imprisoned and house arrest and the shipwreck, everything you mentioned, but yet he had such a positive attitude.
That's true.
Why did he have a positive attitude? Because he knew that all of these things wrapped up together were serving to advance God's kingdom, to advance the gospel.
That's right.
Now the gospel was reaching those, like he said, the imperial guard, people who probably would have never been reached had all of this not happened to Paul. So that is my challenge for us today, for you today. Choose to see how, if you're in an unfair situation, if you're in just something that's so frustrating to you, you don't know why, choose to see how this situation can actually further the gospel and not just see it, but then act on it. How can it further the gospel and be a part of that work? Don't let it discourage you. Have that positive attitude like Paul did, because God can take any situation you're in and use it for His glory. He can take it and advance the gospel to people who might not have heard the gospel had you not been in that situation.
Can you imagine what it must have been like as one of the imperial guardsmen? I mean, the duties that they had to carry out were on a certain level kind of prestigious. And so being assigned to this Jewish guy who's just so happens from their perspective to be this proclaimer of weird religion, I could just imagine the guys heckling each other. Oh man, you got to go stand guard today. And Paul utilizing that as an opportunity. Hey, bud. Let me tell you a story, right? So talk about turning the situation around, and I love what you said, and it's an encouragement for us today. I don't know where you're at. I don't know what your situation is, but utilize it for the glory of God. On the flip side, I wonder how many times we miss opportunities because we're just sitting there complaining and we're frustrated and we're just thinking, well, God can't use this, and where is God, and why is this happening? And we miss out on an opportunity, and Paul's like, man, no, this is all for Jesus.
That's right.
All for Jesus. Well, that is a good reminder. Tea Time with Tierney. You heard it here. Listen, we've got another episode right before this. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen. It's really going to bless you. But we know that God's got some great things in store for your day. You know, I've read in a book somewhere. He works all things for the good.
Yes.
My friend, he can do that for you today. So go out and know that he's working it for your good and utilize every situation for the glory of God. God bless, my friend. Hey everybody, I hope you've been enjoying Breakfast with Bradley. We love bringing truth from God's Word to you. And I want you to consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so that every single day you can be encouraged from God's Word for whatever He has for your day. Click it now and make a change.